Hello everyone. I hope you're all well. I hope the weather is nice wherever you are and that you're able to enjoy it. Today I would like to practice meditation. The technique that I plan on using is a very simple breathing technique. It is a technique that is very, very, very old and has been around for thousands of years and has been used as a regular practice by many people. I like this technique. I use it a lot. I find that I can use it when I'm out and about, and perhaps you might too. The one thing I would like to say about any technique is the best technique is the one that works for you. So if you found a technique that you like to use, please use that. But you will find that over time, the technique won't work so well for you. And then it's nice to have other techniques that you can use until the technique that you were using before works again for you. And please remember too that a technique is not an end in itself. It is just a vehicle to take you into a meditative state. A vehicle, rather like a car, that will take you to the shops. But when you get to the shops, you don't go in your car unless it's a drive-through. You get out of the car and you go through the door. And that's what a technique is like. It is just a vehicle to take you there. Sometimes it'll work for you, sometimes it won't. I would also like you to remember that please don't try and clear your mind. Just let your mind clear itself. If you try and make your mind blank, it will not work. So just let the technique work, and over time, either in the course of meditation or in successive meditations, you'll find that the mind weeds in your thought process will disappear. And you will find that perhaps later on, as you become more and more practiced, that you rather like to have the mind weeds around, because they remind you that your practice is imperfect. And we all need to work on the practice. You can spend, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time if you like, but really, over the long run, you need to plan on doing about 20 minutes. It takes usually 5 or 10 minutes for the mind to settle. And then once the mind has settled, then the technique starts to kick in. So please give yourself time. And remember, if you practice and then for several days you don't practice, don't worry about that. I mean, ideally you want to have a regular practice. But if it works out that for one reason or another you can't practice and life just happens as it does, don't worry about that. Just when you can, start up again. Okay, so I would like to next talk about seating. If you want to, you can sit in a chair. You do not have to sit on the floor. If you are going to sit in a chair, I would rather like you to be towards the edge of the chair and just roll up a towel or something and put it behind your back so your back has something to press against, rather than you leaning back against the chair. Because if you let your spine curve out, what you'll find is that you will start to lose attention. You will become unfocused. So it's always better to sit up straight with a natural curve in the spine. There is a natural curve to the spine, and you want to have that. Now, if you are planning on being on the floor, there are a number of ways that you can be seated. You can, if you like, sit in Dandasana, the seated staff pose with your legs extended out. But if you are going to do that, I would like you to sit on something so that your hips are slightly elevated. That will help to take any pull off of the lower part of the back. You may find at the start you're fine without the block, but after a while, the rounding of the back will start to give you trouble. The other way that you can sit is in Virasana, which is, you could also call the thunderbolt pose. You can sit like this with your legs either side, but the heels in close to you. If you're not used to doing this, please don't do it, because you will find that it'll probably start to hurt your knees. However, if you want to, you can take a block and just put a block underneath and see if that feels good. If that doesn't feel good, take another block. Put the other block underneath. Or if you have a bolster and you want to use a bolster, that works well. You'll find that that allows your back to be nice and comfortable and happy, and that makes the process of doing meditation a lot easier. If your body is complaining, then you won't have a seated practice, a nice, comfortable seated practice. That is also one of the reasons why in Hatha Yoga we practice the asana or the asanam, which are the different poses, and those help to train the body so that you can sit in meditation. The best way to go is the way where your body feels comfortable. Now, the other way that you can practice, of course, is to be seated. Now, you can sit in Sukhasana with the legs crossed. I like to sit on a block, or a block like this, or a blanket, or a thicker blanket. It all depends on how I happen to be feeling that particular day. Each day you get a different body, and each day you have to work with what you have. So if today is a little block day, you use a little block. If it's a big block day, you use a big block. Always use a block. Don't just sit on the floor. Have your hips slightly elevated, unless you are extremely flexible. Most people I've met are not. I have been practicing Hatha Yoga now for, well, I'm in my 5th decade, so some time, and I still like to sit on a block. So today I'm going to use the blue block. Take time to be comfortable. If you need to move around and adjust, move around and adjust. Don't just feel that, oh, I've sat down, now that's all that I can do. I also like to use a blanket to wrap around my shoulders. So I have this blanket. It comes from Ethiopia. It was given to me by a friend named Jason. Thank you very much, Jason. I've been using this for some time now. Now, when practicing the technique, all I want you to do is just, you can have your eyes open or closed. If your eyes are open, I'd like you to have them almost closed. So you're just sort of looking through your eyelashes. You breathe in and down. Just let the breath go down as far as it wants to. Don't force it all the way down to your hips. If it just wants to go down to the center of the chest, that's fine. Let it go down to the center of the chest. Then watch the breath go up and out, in and down, up and out. After you've done that a couple of times, take your hand, it doesn't matter which one, and just place it on your chest and become aware of the hand on the chest. Breathing in and down, up and out. And after you've been at this for a moment or two, what I would like you to do is slightly shift the way you feel about the breathing. I would like you to feel like as you inhale, you're inhaling through the chest, through the hand, through the chest, into the center of the body. And then when you exhale, exhale out through the chest, out through the hand, and out about a foot in front of you. If you want to, you can just put the hand down. You can rest your hands on your knees or have the hands in front, or use a mudra, whichever you prefer to do. So just simply watch the breath going in, watch the breath going out. If you're wearing glasses, you may want to take the glasses off. That way you can avoid the pressure on the bridge of your nose. So inhaling down, exhaling up. If the tummy wants to go in and out, let the tummy go in and out. Don't force the tummy. Don't force the breath. Let the breath be the way it wants to. Let the body breathe the way it wants to. Now drawing the breath when you are ready to. Please don't try and synchronize your breathing with me. Just you allow your body to do it the way that it wants to. So when you're ready to, start breathing through the chest, into the center of the body. And then when you exhale, exhale out through the center of the body, through the hand, through the rib cage, about a foot in front of you. Simply do that for a little bit. Allow your body to adjust itself. Let the spine be comfortably straight. Let the hips feel like they're slightly weighted. Your shoulders are relaxing. Your face is soft. The chin is slightly tucked. So if you have your eyes open, you're looking towards you in front at the floor. Now, I would like to tell you something. There is a very important piece to this meditation. You will notice either as you breathe in or as you breathe out, when you come to the end of the inhalation or the exhalation, that there is a very slight pause in the meditation, in the breath. So you breathe out, the breath pauses before you breathe back in again. Or when you're breathing in, you come to the end of the inhalation, you notice there's a slight pause before the exhalation begins. You may notice it on one, you may notice it on both, you may not notice it at all right now. But believe me, it is there. And what I would like you to do is when you come to the end of the breath, don't let the breath just stop like that. Let the breath slow down like a car coasting to a stop. Then you come to the stop. Then you notice that lovely pause right there. And you let your awareness be in that pause, even just for a moment. And then you begin the inhalation again. And you may notice the pause at the end of the inhalation. Again, just let the breath slowly come to the pause. If you find that your breath isn't doing that, don't torture yourself over it, but be mindful that that is a technique that you want to encourage. You want to develop those pauses, but don't force them. Just let them come when they want to come. But it is in those pauses, those are the most important bits of this meditation. You'll find that as you go out and about, that those pauses you notice everywhere. You notice the pause in bird song, you notice the pause in general sounds, you become aware of them everywhere. And whenever you hear a pause, even if it's not with your breath, just let your awareness sink into that pause. So with this in mind, please continue with your meditation and notice if a pause comes. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. But if you do, just let your awareness settle into that pause, if only for a moment. You may also find that some pauses are a lot longer than other pauses. That's fine. If you find that the pause is particularly long, please do not be concerned about not breathing. Your body will automatically start breathing when it wants to breathe. So be aware of your breath. Please try and keep your tongue from getting tight. If your tongue tightens, your body tenses. And then, when you are ready, please just open your eyes if you've closed them. And be comfortable. This is a practice you can do anywhere. I practice this open-eyed meditation when I'm out and about, when I'm at the grocery shop. I don't particularly do it when I'm driving or cutting up vegetables or using a coffee grinder or anything like that. But it is something that you can do just about anywhere. And it is a lovely, easy meditation to do. Thank you for coming to the practice. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Be well.